What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense of stupid movies. And is it against stupid
It's
movies?
against stupid movies.
Your
Yes.
first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and of course, I'm joined by my co-hosts, my sister Davina,
What's up?
and my brother Derek.
What's up, everybody?
And this time, we're talking about The Last of Us, HBO's The Last of Us. It's going to be episode number 1 that we're discussing. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, episode number 1, aren't you a little late? Episode number 2 is out already. Well, we record this before the episode comes out on Sunday, so it's kind of hard for us to get this like in line with the episodes. So we're doing episode number 1 review, and we're gonna have a little bit of gameplay in the background, so you guys can enjoy watching us play The Last of Us while we talk about The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, of course, this is my first time with anything The Last of Us. Like, all I knew was like a MatPat game theory video
Wow.
of
Okay.
The Last of Us. I have never played the game until until I play some for this podcast episode.
Okay.
So this was all brand new for me. Only thing I knew was that some mushrooms took over people like they do ants.
Okay. So then going in fresh with like very little knowledge,
Mhm.
what did you think?
I thought this was really good. I thought
Okay.
it was pretty cool, and I was like, yeah, maybe I should have played the game. I
Mhm.
Game is so fun to play.
I don't play a lot of these games. Like, okay, we talked about Uncharted, and
Mhm.
I haven't played that. Like, I don't really play a lot of those games. I know they're fun. I just
You haven't played Uncharted?
no,
Oh wow.
I haven't played a single bit.
I know.
Okay, so it's just me and Davina then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah, going into this, actually, I think I appreciate that I haven't played the game because we're gonna talk about the beginning of the episode.
Okay.
With one, well, first let's talk about the news, or talk show.
The talk show they had.
I thought the addition of that was pretty perfect because it
Yes.
kind of gives you a more background of like how something like this can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And
playing the game,
it happens.
it just happens, which I kind of understand that because it's a video game.
Yeah.
So
you
you're
don't
not
need
going
it.
to develop too much into what was the cause of this. It's like, okay, this is what is the cause of it because of the fungi, but it doesn't dwell more than that. So I thought that in the show, them introducing that was a perfect way to start off the series.
Yeah. And well, one, before we get into what they talked about on the talk show, I watching this scene, like it let me know that okay, this show is gonna be pretty good. Like
Mhm.
some of the camera work they did, like when
Mhm.
he starts mentioning how a because they're laughing at him like funguses don't really mess with humans,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and how it could happen, and he's like, well, let's say the temperature goes up, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting here looking at the screen like this is a bit too real. I don't need
Right.
Yeah.
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 I don't want to see this happening. No, I don't want no cordyceps fungus jumping from ants to people. Okay,
Yeah.
let them keep taking over ants, which is messed up. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
ants,
Mhm.
but there's
Yeah.
billions, trillions of there's a lot of
Yeah,
ants.
there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So
They can afford to lose a few. Is what you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah. I mean, and it's a little bit worse for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it kind of added a little bit of more realism to it because you say
Mhm.
like, well, how do humans catch a fungus that attacks ants?
Yeah.
And they're saying like, oh, well, what if the temperature rises?
Yeah.
Right. Well, we already know that's happening.
Yeah. Because he said that it has to be a constant. Well, he was like, if it's constant 94 degrees, it stays at that level. But if it rises up,
Well, it's saying because fungus does not survive,
It doesn't survive in our body.
and
first.
Yeah.
right because we're too warm.
right.
But if the Earth is warming up, then the fungus has to adjust to everything else also
Right.
warming up.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so now
Then
can survive
it
in the
will
human body.
survive in
Yeah.
us.
Which is messed up, but that's why I think for both the game and the show, it's an interesting concept, right? Because this is even though it's not a real thing,
Mm-hmm.
it is based off of something that is real, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
The cordyceps fungus is something that actually takes over ants' brains and controls them until they die
Yes.
and become more fungus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just an interesting concept.
It is, and what I found interesting, I found this other thing, and it was a doctor explained about basically how animals get affected by funguses. So cordyceps is based off the thing that affects ants, but there's also fungus that affects foxes and cats and rats and stuff, and basically they all have the same concept of use like the different stages, and how the show would basically show you like the different stages of infection. It's like how at first it's like a little twitch. It's like, okay, well, they're not feeling all right. Then it's like, then it starts affecting how they act, and now they're more aggressive than they used to be. So I thought it was interesting that something is just like, hey, this is something that happens in the real world, and now we're going to give it to humans.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
May this never happen. Kill funguses. And then I'm like, well, I guess there isn't anything that we got to take out fungus. I don't.
Right, because
Why would
he also stated that he was like there would be no known cure for it at the time because
Right. Like,
we
okay,
don't get affected.
if we think about how hard it was, and not even hard because they did it kind of fast, but to get a vaccine for coronavirus. But that's because
It's
we
a
already
vi-
have information.
Exactly. Yeah,
on
and
this.
and that's what they said too. It's like we know viruses.
Yes.
So if a new one shows up, we get caught off
There's a
guard.
game
But we
plan.
have a basis to work off of.
Yes. And like with real life with viruses, like with the recent coronavirus, they said that it would take 18 months. But by them spearheading on trying to get it, we were able to do it in 12. So we don't have anything set in game plan for fungi because it doesn't affect us like that.
And apparently, no one listened to Dr. Science Guy. He said it.
Oh,
in
well, we
60.
know
We
that.
never
We never.
to Dr. Science Guy.
Yeah.
Why would we listen to Dr. Science Guy?
Yeah, and they laughed at him like, "You're funny. You don't got to worry about that."
Until it got all serious and the camera like did this close up
Oh
of
yeah,
everybody's faces.
I like that.
And then no music, it's all quiet, and it's like, yeah. All right, but we go on from here and we focus on the daughter, Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's where I appreciate that I didn't play the game because I didn't know where this was headed. Now I did know that Joel,
Mm-hmm.
yes, Joel is with Ellie in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. So I figured, I'm like, okay, so we're going to lose Sarah somehow. I just didn't know when and how.
Ah, okay.
And
And a lot of people had that same viewpoint that you had, that they know that he's with Ellie. So it was like, well, his daughter dies at some point, but they didn't know how. Yeah. A lot of people who didn't play the game, they had those same thoughts.
Yeah. And I have to say that Pedro Pascal and the young actress that played his daughter.
You know who that is, don't you?
Who's that?
That is your favorite person, Tandy Newton's daughter.
Oh, you know, she
Oh.
does look like Tandy.
She
Oh,
does.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that my
She
favorite
does.
person?
Because you keep bringing her up.
You do bring her up a lot.
Oh. No, because we were talking about Mission Impossible 2.
I know.
Okay, yeah, she does look like Tandy Newton. Well, she did a really good job.
I thought she did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this slow start following her, and they're making you get to know people. See, you can't trust these shows. You can't trust these shows making you get to know people and like be entwined in their daily lives.
But did you
and
see
whatnot.
did you watch it all the way through the end? Like after the credits?
What was
Like
after?
the director even talked about how that they did that purposely. They wanted you to be into her character because with her dying, you wouldn't be invested in it if it was just like, okay, this is her daughter, and then boom, she died. Yeah.
And of course, we're going to talk about the death scene, but I do feel like in the TV show, it was more impactful than the game. I just played the game like 20 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was more impactful in the TV show because, like you said, they had that.
Right. You got to know her.
Mm-hmm.
It's like her interacting with her father. You see how close they are together. And you're like, oh, okay, I really like these people.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, man, that's messed up. And then in the game, like playing it, I'm still like, dude, that's messed up.
Yeah.
But the game kind of jumps you. Of course, it has to. It's a game.
It's a
Yeah.
game.
It thrushes you into action, right? Everything is getting started. And here it's like you follow her to school. They have breakfast
Well,
together.
I don't know. Detroit Become Human didn't rush you into action. Just gonna say that game starts off really slow. But oh wait, no, it doesn't.
No, it
does.
doesn't.
It does thrust you into action. Never mind. I always forget
Yeah.
about that first.
No, Heavy Rain starts off slow.
Oh, okay. All right. Continue your thought. My bad.
So yeah, so it's like you said before, it's like they get you to know these people. And I also think because the actors and actresses we have in here are, I think everyone they chose, except I'm still a little iffy on Ellie, but everyone they chose is pretty much perfect for the role. So you like them automatically, right? You're following her throughout her day. So like, you know, something is coming and you're waiting for it.
Yeah. I read some comments from people that were talking about some, like, watching this was like a ticking time bomb.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, me and Davina was talking about that
'Cause you know
earlier
the
this
end
week because
result.
we was like, we already know how this goes.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. Like, having played the game, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing they did is, this is how you adapt a video game into another media.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though some things were shot for shot, even though the dialogue was exactly the same,
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah.
They pulled
Yeah.
a lot of dialogue from the game, which is
Yes.
really good.
Yeah.
I like that.
they did it incredibly well. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel unnatural or none of that. It was just like exactly how it was supposed to be. I think that goes from great game writing and great show writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't lose the stuff. Actually, I think
Yeah.
they improved.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't played the whole game, but it seems like they're actually improving on
Well,
Yeah.
the game
that's
has.
what the director wanted to do, and it worked very closely with the person who did the game, and they're working together to make the show. Is that they wanted to expand on areas that could be expanded on, you know, and then keep things that needs to be kept. So, like we said, like, right, one expansion was the science people at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
Something you want to do, right? Show more of Joel's and Sarah's life in
Yeah.
the beginning, right?
Yeah, the relationship with the neighbors.
Yeah, relationship with the neighbors and all of that. So I think they did a good job of, you know, where can we make this, you know, make it make more sense, fill it out some without it being just too much or making it too bloated or anything like that. And I think, you know, some people, Uncharted, you could
Yeah.
Yeah.
learn some lessons on how this can be
Yeah.
done.
Maybe
This
you should do a
definitely
show
showed-
instead of a movie.
Yes. Yeah. And I think we make mention of that in our review of Uncharted? That
No,
maybe it
'cause-
should have been the show?
Uncharted doesn't need to be a show. Uncharted needed to focus on one thing. And Uncharted needed different actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know.
I was
there's
fine
that.
with Tom Holland, but they needed someone else to play Sully.
They did.
And also the villains. So.
Just everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Redo everything, just keep Tom Holland.
All right, so let's talk about the neighbors since this was an expanded upon part. So she goes over there and they make horrible cookies. Although oatmeal raisin I do like, but I don't think she was making oatmeal raisin.
Ew,
I think she was
first
just
off.
putting raisins in cookies.
Oh, raisin is gross.
No,
Oatmeal raisin cookies are good.
they're good.
No, they are
Some
not.
good oatmeal raisin
Yes, you can
cookies.
get some good. Get some what is it? Archway?
Yeah, Archway
Yes,
raisins,
Archway
some good
cookies.
Oatmeal
Man.
raisin.
No.
Because you
No.
put raisins in your oatmeal. I mean,
Yes.
So
Look, I
that
know
doesn't
it-
mean I should put it and make a cookie out of it.
what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
Oatmeal, no, they're not.
Look,
good.
I know you don't like raisins, and look, I'm not that person's like put raisins in anything. Raisins go in two things: cereal and oatmeal. Okay, like
Not in potato salad.
no, it doesn't go in potato salad or any other kind of food. A raisin should be a snack or a breakfast food.
Yes.
Pancakes, raisins and
Oh,
pancakes. is pretty
raisins and pancakes
dope.
is
It's
good.
pretty dope. It's pretty good.
Cinnamon raisin pancakes?
Oh yeah, cinnamon raisin pancakes.
I don't eat pancakes, but that sounds gross.
Yeah. There's also cinnamon raisin bagels.
No.
Yeah, I've had a raisin bagel before.
Nah, I'm gonna have to pass on all of that.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So besides the nasty cookies,
She was making nasty cookies.
I'm like, but anyway, your first choice should be chocolate chip. I don't like.
Yes.
Why wouldn't it be? Someone told Snickerdoodle. Someone said Snickerdoodle. I'm like, get away
No,
from me. No,
no,
like
it's chocolate chips.
chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip, bro.
Chocolate
like, what?
chip. Like Crumble Cookie does 4 or 5 new cookies every week. The 6th cookie is always chocolate chip. They make chocolate chip every week because that's the cookie.
Because that's the cookie. Like,
Yes.
literally, that's
Yeah.
all you need.
Yes.
Yeah. Just
Chocolate chip.
chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip. Yes.
Why are we playing these games?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
If
Chocolate
you don't
chip,
think
number
chocolate
one.
chip is best cookie, then you're wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about that. All right, so I would talk about this scene where her picking out DVDs, and then the old lady. I'm like, no, no. The old lady like just starts
that was
twitching.
crazy. I'm like,
yeah.
you don't see this happening?
No, it was fine. She wasn't looking at her.
Man, you gotta have a vibe or something that this
Man.
old lady is starting to move.
Man.
That haven't been moving at
Right.
all. Like she's not even
And then
chewing.
her mouth was hanging
'Cause-
open. I'm like,
Yeah. Because she wasn't even chewing
Right.
that morning because he was shoving bread in her mouth, the biscuits.
I'm
And it
like,
was just hanging on her lip.
I feel sorry for that dog. That dog was looking like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
he
When
was just
she
staring
left,
at her. He's
when
like,
she was leaving and he was just staring at her like.
he's like, get me out of this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So excellent scene, excellent setup,
Mm-hmm.
and a little unnerving.
Yeah.
Yep, it was creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very creepy. My wife watched this with me. I don't think she's gonna be watching any more episodes of The Last of Us, but yeah, very creepy.
Yeah.
All right, so during this whole time, there's like a lot of stuff happening that I'm like, man, Sarah, you might need to say something about this. Like, she went to get the watch fixed, and there's like police
Yeah.
zooming down the street. The watch shop closed. Why didn't they tell her why they were closing?
Yeah, they just kicked her out.
They're like,
yeah,
you gotta go home and stay safe. What's going on?
Yeah,
Yes.
but even though Sarah just, girl,
Yeah.
she was being, I don't know if it's being naive or whatever, but there was just too much stuff going on where she's just like, just like
Yeah. And she was watching the news.
watching the news, not like weird. The dog is acting crazy and then she goes into the house. I'm like, please.
Before we get to that,
stop.
when she first leaves the house, some military planes fly above.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but I think we might want to leave.
yeah.
Like, if I see that happening,
Well, I was like, I think that's why she turned on the news. But this is my other thing, though.
but she
Nothing
didn't tell her
local.
dad when her dad came home and say, hey, maybe we should be getting going
Yeah,
because
like
there's
it's
been
like
all this
she
stuff.
sees all of this weird stuff happening
But my thing is, where was he?
He was
Because
working.
because he was working.
I know, but you still hear police sirens and hear
It
military.
depends on where he's working.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, because he probably worked outside the city. Because remember, they were saying that the city was infected first, and both him and Tommy said that they hadn't been. She was the only one that had been to the city.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And that's what made
And you
me
know
think,
what?
I'm like, oh, she gonna turn into one of the mushroom dudes.
And you know what? That does make sense because that year where we had that power outage,
Mm-hmm.
when I was at work, I didn't know what was going on. Even though the power went out, the backup generators came on. So we still finished the day. And when I left, it was like the lights were out, the street lights were out, but it was like, it's fine. I didn't realize how bad it was till I got close to coming home. Then it was just like, okay, it's cars not moving. It took me almost 2 hours to get home. So yeah, I can see that, not knowing exactly what's going on.
That's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see stuff weird happening. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, I just felt like all this
Yeah.
weird stuff was happening around her, and I don't know why she just wasn't paying attention to it.
So
Yeah. I'm drawing the blank. What woke her up? The dog?
the Transformers blowing up. I think.
Yeah, I think the explosions and stuff woke her up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And then it says stay in the house. And then she leaves
Before,
the house.
so we
'Cause
did
the
have that
dog.
really nice scene pulled from the video game of her giving her dad the watch
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. That was pretty good. I might have told him, hey, a lot of weird stuff going on today. It was military planes.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe we should look into this.
Yeah.
But okay. So she falls asleep, wakes up, and she turns on, and it's a security alert or whatever they call it
Mm-hmm.
that
the
says
TV.
stay in your home.
Stay at home.
Stay in your home, Sarah.
And then she immediately walks outside.
Because the dog was barking.
Look, that ain't your dog.
Okay. All right, fine. And it looked okay. You know the dog. Okay. I'm gonna give you that. You know it. Maybe take it into your house. Don't walk outside across the street. It says stay in my home.
Yeah.
That means something's going on.
This
that I should stay
would
in
have
the
been
house.
a clear thing for me. Let's say out of all of that, and you like, hey, I'm taking the dog back to his owner.
And the dog don't want to go in his house.
The dog don't want to go in, and then when you go in, he runs away.
He's like, yep, nope.
Yeah. But then my thing
Then
is,
I don't go in.
she comes in and there's blood everywhere. Turn around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, Mrs. Adler, why are you walking further into this house?
No, but I'm with Derek on this one. Like, okay, I know the dog. I know the neighbors. Maybe I'm returning the dog to the
Yes.
neighbors.
The
I'm
dog
sorry. The dog
refuses.
doesn't want to go towards the house.
Yeah.
He runs away from the house and he's barking at you as you're trying to go in the house.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yo. The animals be knowing more than we do.
They
Mhm.
do.
So, like, if I see a bunch of birds flying away from something, like suddenly,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, something's wrong.
I want
Yeah.
to go that way. Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe I need to go the direction the birds are going in. I
Yes.
don't know. Or if the dog is scared of one that I know,
Right.
you know, I'm like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
maybe this is a warning sign, you know, don't go in the house.
Yeah.
Definitely don't follow a trail of blood.
Yeah.
Go back in your house.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the scene with the old lady who has been infected with cordyceps.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And she's tripping all over the place because she had some kind of paralysis on why she was in a wheelchair.
No, that's just how they move.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she just couldn't walk
No.
straight because.
No,
Okay.
that's just how they move.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I mean, I guess you look at it, it's controlling the person's brain, so it's not worried about any pain or
Right.
any
Right.
other kind of thing. So that's why they're like moving faster or whatever, because it's like they're just using the body,
Mhm.
right? So the fungus is just using the body, controlling it to get what it needs, and you know, so there's none of those inhibitions going on.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, man, they had the fungus was coming out
Oh,
of her mouth and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah. And with Tommy, he was like, "Tell me what to do." Tell me.
Again, they expanded
Yeah.
upon that because
Uh-huh.
that wasn't in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
game.
Right.
In the game, the neighbor broke through their
Yeah.
home.
Jimmy broke in. Here, the grandmother chases the girl outside the house,
Mhm.
and Joel has to kill her. But then it was still the same thing where you see Sarah's reaction to seeing her father kill someone.
Yeah, yeah,
Even though it was something he had to do,
Yeah.
you see how that affected her.
Yeah. And it's an emotional thing too because it's like this is someone you know.
yeah.
So
no,
it's
they're trying to kill
like-
me right at the moment. So
Yeah. So it was like the instinct is like, okay, I am going to protect myself and my family. But it's like, it's that I don't want to do this and you're making me have to do this.
Yeah.
yeah, a little rough. All right, so they stupidly try to go to the highway.
Never take the highway.
Don't take the
Which
highway.
that's where everyone
Because
was going.
everyone goes on the highway.
Never
Don't go
take
to the
the
highway,
highway.
man. Back roads. You need an escape plan.
I got an escape plan.
You got an escape plan?
Yes.
Where you go?
Yeah.
I'll be prepared. I'm
Okay.
prepared for all situations.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Although we might want to stay where we are. We're by a freshwater lake.
Yeah, nothing happens here. It's
Yeah, nobody's targeting us.
Yeah.
So this might be a good place. When everybody else doesn't have water, we're probably gonna be okay. So yeah. All right, so okay. they're running away. So in the show, they do this. It was a pretty good scene. So they're running away in the truck, and then the plane crashes.
Yeah.
Because I guess somebody on a plane went all,
Yeah.
and killed
Crazy.
everybody.
Yeah.
Man, nobody. Ain't there a marshal on the plane?
How you know he's not the one that went crazy?
Oh yeah, okay.
Hmm?
Yeah. And then how you know if it wasn't the pilot that went crazy? He's not thinking about flying the plane correctly.
No, true. He would have killed the co-pilot.
He would have killed the
first.
co-pilot. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And it's interesting. So since it's a fungus, its point is just to spread,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's just once infected another
Yeah,
person.
once you're done with
Yeah.
your one host, you move to the
You
next.
spread.
Yeah.
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 Now, in the ants, they don't attack other ants, so I mean, they've definitely taken some liberty.
True.
Yeah, it kills the one ant and then puts it in a good spot so that it can release its spores, because that's what funguses do.
Mm-hmm.
They release spores.
Yeah.
That is true. But fungus infections in other animals do, like wolves and stuff, do cause them to be more aggressive. And they will.
Rabies, which is not a fungus, a virus, but it's the same thing, because rabies attacks the brain, and the point is for them to spread rabies virus through a bite, which is why they animals and stuff go crazy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's in a human and it gets that far along, it's too late for a human at that point.
Yeah,
but
apparently,
they will
if you have symptoms
spread.
of rabies, then you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get it before
Yeah.
symptoms. This is why you get a shot anytime you're bit by something.
Yeah. And it will be spread by a bite, and a human will.
Yeah, it'll be in your saliva.
Yeah.
So, rabies is the zombie virus. That's for real, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's just you won't live long enough, though.
No, yeah, you won't continue as a corpse as
Yeah.
they depict things.
Yeah.
But neither do
they don't.
these. The cordyceps virus is what it says lasts a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, last
okay.
the day, and then
Yeah.
it gets to the point where the fungus
fungus just spreads.
over
Yeah,
the whole
you go
body.
through all 5 stages.
and
Last
they die.
stage is basically it kills you,
Yeah.
because that's what they saw with the guy
That
when
was in the
attached to the
wall.
wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the end. That's the end.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, we got to them escaping, and we get to the horrible part of the soldier,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and they're like, "What do we do?" So, were their orders just to kill everyone in the city?
And, like, isn't that messed up?
I
Like,
you
feel like
set
they
up a
will do that in
quarantine?
real life, though.
but
Set up a quarantine.
But think about how fast everything happened. Did they just assume anyone coming from Austin was just no one leaves the city?
Yeah. I would believe
Well, why
that they
didn't you
would
nuke
do
it
that in
then?
real life. Or
Well,
seriously
isn't that what they did
consider
with
it.
Boston, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, this will kill
Is
the
that
virus.
what they did with
I think.
Boston? I didn't get that far. You know, you spoiled it. All right.
Whatever. But yeah, just like that's like really messed up. It's just no one leaves the city, and we're just gonna kill them all.
Mhm.
Just
That's why the roads were backed up. They weren't letting them leave.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. Like, no, when you set up a quarantine, but I guess they're saying there, how do you quarantine the crazy people?
well, if they're crazy.
Well, no, they don't have no way to check if you have it or not at that point. 'Cause
At
they
that
have to
time,
go
no.
But
fast.
see, but this is the thing. This is the purpose of a quarantine, right? No one leaves the city. Stay in your house. This gives the people time to figure out how do we find out if they have it, who has what, right?
Yeah.
If I'm in my house, then I can't catch it, right?
Well, yeah.
They can break through your window or something.
But I mean, that's what I was saying. But
Well,
I
you
was like,
kill-
eventually, it was still gonna get out of control because the virus is still wanting to
I'm gonna say
spread.
this is gonna sound messed up. You kill the people you can see that has it.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
people have to go.
Yeah,
Well, because again, like we were saying with rabies, at that point,
There was no
figured
cure.
That's it.
Yeah, at that point they're dead anyways.
yes,
So you kill those.
yeah. Because in
people.
5 days they're dying.
But I mean, but here the army was just killing everyone,
True.
which seems a little aggressive.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's because they weren't letting anyone out of the city.
Well, I get not letting them out of the
Yeah,
city.
quarantine it.
Yeah,
Right,
but
yeah.
that doesn't mean kill any and everyone.
Well, it was like, hey, they get past this perimeter, don't kill them.
That was unnecessary.
Definitely unnecessary.
It was
Played very well
unnecessary.
by Pedro Pascal. And
Yeah.
I, at this point, again, because I hadn't played the game, I was like, oh, he got grazed. And then I'm like, but wait. And then we see her and she's like dying on the ground. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yo, really? That's how it goes?
Yeah.
That's how she dies? She's shot by a soldier?
Yeah.
And then I was conflicted because I'm like, I don't know if that's better than her dying as a fungus monster or like, I guess at least she didn't get infected with the fungus. I don't know.
I guess it's but I don't want to get it's worse because you have no idea of what would have happened in the future for her.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
We did.
It's a bunch
as
of
far as the
unknown
story
variables.
Goes, we know she dies.
Yeah,
So-
but what I'm saying is like, hey, he made it for the next 20 years. There's a
she
good
could
chance
have
she
made
could have
it.
too.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone watching this would have thought like, hey, maybe they're going to do it different for the show or something.
Oh, they
No?
couldn't.
No.
They couldn't.
No.
You gotta.
Oh, because that's the
Man,
Because
honestly,
it's a turning
I
point for him.
Yeah. I honestly think everybody would have been like, nope, I'm done. I'm not
Yeah.
watching episode 2.
No, because think about it. It's a turning point for him because after that scene, right, 20 years later, you see the little boy. All right.
I don't want to talk about that either. And I get they had to do it.
Right.
But still.
He's sick, right? So Joel, right, he's working for, the people. The lady he's with says, I can't do it. I can't do kids. He picks the boy up and toss him into like, okay, whatever.
Toss him in the fire.
Exactly.
Like,
Because like you can see how it like he's like hardened now. Like before, there's no way he would have been able to do that. But you already see what he's willing to do. And so that changes him.
Drugs.
So you right, sell hardcore drugs.
Yeah.
So you had to have that. Like changing that, I think people would have riot, and there's no way you cannot change that.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Because it shapes who he is in the future.
Which is in Boston 20 years later.
In Boston 20 years later. Yeah.
We just talked about, so they had the scene. What they do, they pick someone up, and so they're going to add them to the quarantine that they got, because there is a quarantine set up there. But, they got to check. And I guess they have a way to see if you're infected with the cordyceps now.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the little kid was. At least they didn't, shoot him.
Yeah, I guess they were nicer about it.
Yeah. It was like, oh, we're going to give you some medicine and give you your favorite food. My instant thought was like, do y'all have that? That was I was like, this is post-apocalyptic area.
He's a kid. He's fine. Who knows what he's been through?
Chocolate sundae.
All right, man, that hurts.
Yeah, I when I seen that, I was like,
I was just thinking about it. It's like, oh man, he's a kid, and like, oh, we give you your favorite thing. That's sad, man.
yeah.
You know what I want? I mean, I guess it would be no point to it, but for all of these shows after a disaster, whether it's like a natural disaster or a virus or whatever, or Endgame or something. It would be nice if we actually rebuild. But it just seems like in all of these shows and
they don't
movies and
rebuild
stuff,
nothing.
everyone just lives in dirt, eating mud pies or something, and just
because in the quarantine area, there's no affected people. That area can look nice because you could just build it up.
Yeah, like why aren't we rebuilding?
Yeah. Everything looks all crummy, falling apart.
So 20 years later, like I guess the government is being crazy. I get that. No one wants to live like that. But
yeah, because they were hanging people. I mean, I guess at first I was like, man, that's messed up. And then I'm like, I guess I get it. If you leave the quarantine, you're putting everybody.
You're putting everybody
at risk.
I don't get the public hanging thing.
I'm like, why are you hanging in public?
I guess it's to warn and scare others.
Yeah.
But
this is what happens when you leave.
Check them and you can put them in prison.
Yeah.
Right.
But you would have to continue to
That's
keep
probably
checking.
why the firefighters are like, hey, yo, the fireflies are like, you guys are being crazy.
Yeah. Because I'm like, a hanging though?
Yeah, it's a little much. It's a little much.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, it would be nice if, in one of these post disaster things,
we actually rebuild the planet.
Someone says, hey, what do we put some walls up? Something.
Yeah.
Or, what do we all got some running water?
Yeah. Yeah, because like in Endgame, I guess all sports stopped.
Yeah.
They didn't play anymore.
Well,
which, by the way, will never
that would never happen.
You won't have to restructure because you ain't going to have.
They
Man,
will find
they-
Billy Joe off the street to play if they have to.
in real life on We Are Marshall, the reason on why freshmen are able to play college sports now, it was because most of the team died in a plane crash. And instead of them forfeiting the season, they started the season with all freshmen and walk-ons. And then from that point on, they set the rule where you can start walk-ons and freshmen. So, yeah. Sports will continue. They did it with COVID.
Sports did continue.
They will.
Okay. All right. So, I guess an interesting fact. I don't know if you're gonna get this, but the Darlene.
Marlene.
Just keep throwing letters in front of
Yeah,
it.
Zarlene. Yeah. I have most of it right. That actress is apparently the voice actress for
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Marlene in the game. Which I was
Yes.
like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yes. And I hear that the other actors will also make an appearance at some point too. I think.
Yeah, apparently Joel and Ellie's
Yes.
voice actor.
Voice actors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did.
She
have that,
said
so.
she auditioned for the Marlene part. Yeah.
Oh,
That
they're
she
probably
wanted to
like,
do
man,
it.
she sounds just like her.
No, they already know who she is.
I think she's perfect
Yeah,
for this role.
yeah,
Like, did you
but
see how she?
She said that when she found out that they were doing the show, she wanted to play the character she voiced.
Yeah, why not?
Cool. All right, so yeah, it's post-apocalyptic and horrible. Joel's selling drugs, and
For ration cards.
and Tommy
papers.
is out, and he's trying to hear back from him.
Right, yeah, because
Yeah.
Tommy's in Wyoming, and they
Wyoming.
have like a radio communication something,
Mhm.
but Tommy hasn't responded.
Yes.
So he wants to get a truck to go to Wyoming, but apparently there's no batteries. Again, seriously, people.
Right.
I mean,
Seriously,
infrastructure,
people.
but it's been 20 years. I was supposed to say
It's been
infrastructure
20
would be it,
years.
but it's
Yes.
been 20 years. We can't get a factory.
Yeah. So I was like, no one's driving.
No one's building anything.
How is the cordyceps still going around? Like you guys
Apparently,
can
people
contain
keep
this?
leaving the quarantine center.
You think by now
But
we
it's
would have
not the
found it
only
shouldn't have
quarantine
taken 20
center.
years with all scientists working on it.
What did we just live through?
Yeah, but how long?
It
did
didn't take 20
It took 2
years.
years.
No, what I'm saying is like maybe there's not a way to get a vaccine for a fungus. I don't know.
I guarantee there's a way to kill a fungus in somebody
Yeah.
without killing the person.
Fire. I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
But-
What? Yeah.
But I'm saying it probably
We're
continues
gonna
to
inject
spread.
fire.
No, just burn the people.
Burn-
No, because here's the thing: the fungus interacts with the body somehow,
Yes.
Yes.
and all you need is something that would stop that interaction.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking one way they come up with vaccines and stuff, right, is something that can fight against it.
Mm-hmm.
What fights against fungus? Isn't that why Ellie is so important? Because she's the one person they've known to be immune to the bite.
Right.
Right.
So you get her stuff, and then that can help you build a vaccine for it. My thing is after 20 years,
That's what I'm saying. You couldn't
We don't have
find-
any batteries.
wouldn't you be studying like the dead bodies of
you would. Maybe
yeah.
all the doctors caught it. I don't know.
all the scientists? 'Cause
All the scientists caught it.
Also, out of 20 years, we never got an immune person. That is statistically impossible.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Because we found out that there were people immune to COVID, but the problem was they could carry it and still pass it
Well,
on.
yeah, because it can always enter your body.
Yeah, COVID's not the best example because it's not like it was super contagious, but not the most contagious of the things we can
Yeah.
get. But usually, you should have somewhere.
10,
I was gonna say less than 10.
what, 1%?
Between 1% and 5% of the population should be immune.
Okay.
Right, there's some kind of factor. I mean, I guess, no, there could be something that can just wipe all humans out. I don't know. But it seems like there would be some kind of
There's
factor.
always someone immune to something.
Yeah, our
Yes.
DNA is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
So I don't know why it took them. Well, maybe if they didn't just start shooting people.
Oh, yeah, they probably shot all the immune people. That's what happened. They killed them all. God.
Yeah.
Well, that and just if we have these quarantine zones, stop leaving the quarantine zone and the fungus has nowhere to go.
Maybe we should try expanding our quarantine zones. I don't know.
But
You have to have a way to fight these people too. I don't know. Like you said, flamethrower. I don't know. Like when it take a shot to the head takes them out.
a shot to the head takes them out.
You mean the military couldn't handle this?
I agree. Like, this should not have been a 20-year ordeal.
Yeah.
They really shouldn't.
I'm
They
sorry.
had no problem killing people before.
I'm
So.
nitpicking. I'm nitpicking now, but I'm like this. Well, but you got to stop because new people can still get infected because it's a fungus, so it's not just spread.
But
person
one
to person,
thing,
right?
but one thing the show doesn't have that the game had is in the game, an infected person emitted spores, so it was airborne.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yes.
But they got rid of that in the show.
This might still be.
No, the director said they got rid of the airborne spores in the show.
Well, I mean,
So you have to be bitten or scratched or something like that.
Okay.
oh, and the game makes more sense since it's.
They got rid of it in the show because in the game you have to wear a gas mask, and then it's like, well, then you're wearing a gas mask for most of the show.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
can't have. Well, Pedro Pascal did it already. Okay.
But everyone
Maybe he's
has to
tired
have
of
on
wearing a mask.
and then everyone will have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
well, yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, in that case, right? If it's airborne, that's a lot. That's more.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yes.
It might take 20 years to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every sick person is now releasing the virus into the air. How many people got gas masks?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough, man. All right.
So
All right. Oh, so they get played on the battery
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
for the truck, and then that's when he run into Ellie. So he goes to Marlene, who is the person that got the battery. The battery was bad anyway.
Yeah.
And Marlene's like, take Ellie here and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because Marlene apparently knows she's immune.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know where this goes from there, but that's pretty much where we at.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And at first he didn't want to take Ellie, but he wants to get to Tommy. So he's going to do whatever he can to get what he wants to get to Tommy. And at the end, we see that he's going to start leaning toward protecting Ellie because of the connection of him not being able to protect his daughter.
Cool.
And basically that's the reason why their relationship exists in the game as well. It's more so of like he couldn't protect his daughter, so he's protecting this young girl.
All right. Overall, I thought the show was very interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting concept, and guess I'm gonna have to wait for episode 2.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was interesting. One thing that I thought about, like, on how good a show is like whether or not I want to watch the next episode. And when it's in it, I was like, man, I really wish they'd have dropped all the episodes.
Right.
Because it's
No,
like,
no,
I
no
want
binge
to
watching
see.
week to week.
It's like I want to see episode 2,
Yeah.
and it's like, but I can't.
And it was over an hour long.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I definitely want to watch the next one
That
now.
17-minute crap that Disney Plus been giving us.
Disney should be ashamed.
Yeah,
Nonsense.
because when I hit play and I was like an hour and 22 minutes, and then it was like before the credits, it was an hour and 3 minutes.
So yeah, but that's how you do it because it didn't feel long.
No, it didn't.
It just, and then afterwards it was just like, well, now I want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
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 So well done. And I was like, going into this, I didn't want to see it. I had no interest.
I
in
didn't
it.
either.
Like I really enjoyed the game, but I was like,
I didn't
they
either.
making this
And they
into
were
a show?
promoting the heck out of it.
and the trailer didn't make me want to watch
Mhm.
it, and I was just like, yo, I don't know about this.
Okay, so then everybody can thank Darren for
Yes, this was your idea, and
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
You had one good idea. Good, thank you,
Oh,
Darren.
yeah, sure. Okay, the only good idea that I've had.
Usually your choices be horrible.
Well, I knew it was a game, and then I figured I was like, oh, well, people would want to watch that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and it's insanely popular. So
Mm-hmm.
All right.
yeah,
Did you have any interesting show facts?
I have a few.
Random show facts? We gotta.
Oh, because
Right.
it's not a
Put the-
movie.
It's
Yeah.
not a movie.
But show is only one syllable instead of 2, so it feels weird.
Yeah.
So originally we talked about how they had the doctor, Mr. Science guy in the beginning explaining how funguses work.
Mhm.
They were going to do like a Planet Earth type of video, like how Animal Planet be doing with ants or whatever.
Okay.
They actually like shot it and everything,
With
and
the
afterwards
cordyceps ants?
they were just like, "Yeah, no, this isn't the way to go with this."
Okay.
So then that's when they decided to have the talk show with the doctor on it.
Okay. I would have did both.
I'm interested.
I
Like,
put it as a bonus scene.
yeah, I'm
I'll
like,
watch it.
I want to see the video now.
Yeah.
Because then
I
was
would have
like,
did as he was talking about it, show how it affects ants.
well, because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, there's an Animal Planet episode on this. I want to watch this now.
I've watched a long time ago an actual episode. I don't know if it was National Geographic or something, but it was about the cordyceps fungus. And then I had learned more about it because, surprisingly, and you guys are probably gonna roll your eyes, but the Pokemon Paris is based off of this. The little thing with the mushrooms on its back.
Yeah.
When it evolves, its eyes are all white and stuff because in the Pokedex entry actually says the fungus is the Pokemon really is in control. So like, and so I learned more about it because of that.
Okay.
And I was like, oh wow.
So it's no longer the Pokemon; it's now the fungus in its final form.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was actually interesting. I take my
wow. Wow. you interested Davina with that Pokemon fact.
That was the first generation too. So you've seen it before.
I guess I
know what
it
it pairs.
Yeah, I know it well. So this was the second most viewed premiere of HBO since 2010.
Oh.
Obviously,
House of Dragons.
The House of Dragons was number one with like a gazillion billion people watching it.
Yeah, because of Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
And then before that, it was Boardwalk Empire, which I tried that. That show was super
I was like,
boring.
is that
I heard a lot of people said that they liked that show.
Really?
I
got 20 minutes in and said, nah.
Yeah, it wasn't for me.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, super popular. That was just a Sunday drop. So who knows what it was throughout the week.
Yeah.
So originally episode 1 was actually 2 separate episodes.
It does seem like it's in 2 parts, yeah.
Yeah. So they were going to end it like immediately after the 20 years later with when Joel burns up the little boy.
I would have been so mad if it's like, oh, Sarah's dead. Next episode, guys.
So HBO watched it and said, you guys should change this because this doesn't make me want to come back.
Right.
So they listened. This is happening when the studio actually gives you something, useful.
Mm-hmm.
They listened and said, yeah, okay, you're right. So then that's when they added so that way you end on him meeting Ellie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're already on their journey instead of just ending it after Sarah dies and then he kills her. Then he burns another little kid. And they're like, okay, great. First episode. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
No.
Good
You
change.
guys can't see. I'm shaking my head. Because no.
Yes. Well, apparently a lot of people would have felt the same way. And so that's why they didn't end it there.
Okay.
Okay. That was my last fact.
Okay.
Nitpicks?
I think we mentioned kind of our nitpicks.
Yeah, I mentioned my nitpicks
fungus.
throughout
Yeah.
that and, Sarah not being the brightest, but she's a kid, I guess.
Yeah, Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm still sad you died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't like rating shows on the first episode. So I'm going to give a rating for the episode.
Okay.
Okay. So best episode ever. I think, right? Great episode.
I'm gonna say I really enjoyed it. This is like I was actually tempted to watch it again.
Yeah.
But
I
then
kind of
didn't
want
to.
to.
I kind of wanted to, but then I didn't.
Yeah, it's like
I kind of wanted to.
But I'm thinking
like watching it through with episode 2.
Oh,
like
that's some time. Is that
like
gonna be like
watching
3 hours?
Watching
Yeah.
episode 1 and then go all the way through episode 2.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking let them drop all 9 episodes and then I
And
can
then
watch
rewatch it together.
to get into the
watch
end.
it
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, one thing
I'm definitely watching it every week though.
Yeah. I know. I'm probably just like last time I watched it when y'all left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it with you
Yeah,
guys.
because it's gonna be available after we're done with the podcast. So
Yeah.
episode 2.
Yeah. So like obviously this is based off the first game. So I think the next episode they're gonna give you more background on Ellie because there was a Left Behind DLC that I think that has some background stuff on her,
Okay.
which I didn't play, so I know nothing about it. So I think
That's Last of Us 2?
no, it's the DLC to the first Last
first
of
one.
Us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's like The Last of Us, the DLC, The Left Behind, and then Last of Us Part 2 is
Okay.
the second game.
Okay.
But I do believe this first season is going to take bits and pieces from the first game and that DLC,
Okay.
which I
All right.
haven't played.
I haven't
so
played that. Yeah.
I'm thinking after episode 1, there's going to be a lot of things I'm going to be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
This is new to me, which would be kind of cool, though. Because in the first episode, like, I knew what was coming.
Yeah, I did too.
So it'll be kind of interesting to see what's it like not knowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have 2 interesting facts about the game.
Sure.
One of it was that it was developed by Naughty Dog, the video game publisher. They split it up in 2 teams because they started working on this project after Uncharted 2, and they wanted to work on Uncharted 3. So one team worked on this game, and the other team worked on Uncharted 3. And that's why they came out around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also, it's one of the best-selling video games of all time. It sold 1.3 million in the first week. And then by April 2018, so the game was released in 2013. By April 2018, it sold 17 million.
Oh. And
copies.
it's going to sell more now.
Yes, it
definitely.
is.
I can see a lot of people picking up
Yes,
this
it
game.
is. Yeah. So it's one of the most popular games, of course, next to Grand Theft.
I mean,
But
it makes sense. It's a really good game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like Grand Theft is up there because there's a lot of downloadable content after that game came out for all these
Well,
years.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yes, it's just keeps on
Yeah.
being played, the same game for the last.
Yeah, because when the last
7
time they
years.
dropped like a legit new one?
They haven't.
They haven't. It's still 5.
Yeah.
So it's still 5 with just a bunch of add-ons.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. They keep adding on. Yeah.
I don't know if there's more. There's probably more new missions and stuff that gets added. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't played it since 2, I think.
But yeah, but I think if
Is
it
that
was
bird's eye view?
Yeah, it was bird's eye view.
but I think that if you take that away, this is probably up there as like probably number 1, number 2.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty good. I knew it was a popular game,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know it was that popular. So I thought that was interesting.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, those are our review and thoughts on The Last of Us, episode number 1. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Of course, we probably do another podcast on it at the end of this season. I was gonna say season. And give our overall thoughts on that. I'm thinking of doing some reactions to the episodes, so we might have that up on the channel as well. So be on the lookout for that as well.
Okay.
And maybe I should do a playthrough of The Last of Us. Who knows?
It could be.
But maybe I should stop by the time I get to like where I'm at on the episode.
That's not a bad idea because I was like, another reason I didn't want to watch it because, of course, I never finished the game because I don't finish games. Is I didn't want the show to ruin the game for me, even though I hadn't touched the game in like a year.
Okay, so now do you not want the show to ruin the game, or do you not want the game to ruin the show?
See, that's the thing.
So now
Yeah.
you can't play or watch it at all. That's it.
And see, I beat the game, so I know.
No,
Okay.
see.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, let us know what you thought about the first episode. What do you think about funguses taking over people? Is it scurry? Let us know. Of course, like and subscribe to the channel for more movie content and shows like this one, and we will catch you next time.